Hey guys, today I'm going to be test casting some aluminium using lost foam casting. If you're not familiar with this type of metal casting, search it on the internet and you should find some videos about it. So this is my homemade forge from the how-to tutorial of how to make a forge, and as you may noticed, I've lined the inside of it with plaster of Paris mixed 50-50 with sand. This is a much better fireproofing than clay. Because metal casting is incredibly dangerous, I'm going to be wearing fireproof gloves and safety goggles. So first it's time to make the foam mold. So this is the foam which I'm going to be using. It's called Oasis foam and it's used for flower arranging and gardening, and it's really cheap and I got this block for £1. So this is the little model which I've made, which I'm going to try and cast out of aluminium, and I squeezed it so that it fits my hand really well, and I put all of these little notches and bumps in it to see how detailed I could get the casting to be. So now I'm going to fill up this clay pot with sand and embed the foam model in it. So that's the mold done. Now I'm going to light my forge and melt some aluminium. So now the fire's lit, I'm going to turn the fan on. So the fire's got hot enough, now I'm going to try and melt some aluminium. So all of the aluminium is completely molten. Now I'm going to try and pour it into the mold. So that didn't work very well. It appears that the Oasis foam did not want to melt or burn as the polystyrene usually does. So I'm going to just be using polystyrene. So the aluminium's really melted. Now I'm going to give this a final attempt in the foam. So it's cooled now, and this is the exact shape of the polystyrene, and lost foam casting is definitely really accurate. So since that last piece worked really well, I'm now going to try and cast an aluminium slingshot using this foam. One thing that you've got to be really careful of if you're using thin seal cans like this is that it might burn a hole all the way through them, like on this one, so change them around pretty regularly. So all of that aluminium is really melted down now. Now it's time for the moment of truth to see if the casting actually worked. Yes, it appears it did. So it worked quite well. And now it's time to file it down. So my plan for this mini slingshot is first I'm going to cut off and file everything down to shape, and then I'm going to laminate 2 bits of 18mm multiplex wood on either side, and then I'm going to shape it and stain it with linseed oil to make it look really nice. So let's start with cutting off these giant top bits. Right, so now I've just gone and cut these 2 bits off the top. And obviously I'm not going to waste these by throwing them away, so I'm going to remelt them into another slingshot later. Now I'm going to file some of these edges more smooth. So this is the slingshot once I've finished filing it, and all of the edges are really smooth and shiny just from the file and some sandpaper. But once I've laminated on the multiplex, I'll polish them up. So now it's time to laminate on the multiplex. So I've put in a lot of epoxy in between both of these layers of multiplex plywood, and now I'm going to clamp it and leave the glue to set. So the glue is now set, and my mini slingshot's now pretty huge, but I'm going to just file it down. So because the slingshot's so thick, I'm going to actually use a saw to slice off some of the layer. So now that I've gone and cut off all of this bit, it should work fine. It's a lot thinner and this bit can act as a palm swell. So now as you can see, I've just cut these 2 bits off here, so that then it gives this bit a raised bit where I'm going to have some finger grooves in here. So now that I've got this slingshot shaped up to exactly how I'd like it, I'm going to start sanding it up to 400 grit. So I finished sanding the slingshot up to 400 grit, and then I coated it in 3 layers of linseed oil and attached some target shooting TheraBand. The ergonomic handle with the 2 finger grooves fits my hand really well. Despite this slingshot being rather small, it's actually surprisingly comfortable and accurate to shoot. So you hold it and shoot it in the Chinese thumb and finger method. I do prefer hammer grip slingshots, but you can actually make a much more small and compact slingshot when it's in this method. The pouch and bands are made for firing 15mm steel balls, but it can also fire 12mm steel balls with little hand slap. Because of the rather low fork, when you shoot it you have to flip with your hand. So let's give it a shot. So let's see how well this slingshot does at a slightly longer range. This slingshot's surprisingly powerful and accurate even from all the way back here, considering I've only shot about 30 or 40 shots with it. So overall I'm really pleased with this slingshot, and I'm really happy at how well it fits my hand. So I'm definitely going to use lost foam casting in the future to cast a full-sized hammer grip slingshot out of aluminium. So thanks for watching guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video of me testing out lost foam casting for casting this slingshot, and if you did, please show your appreciation by liking this video. Also, if you want to see more of my videos, please feel free to subscribe, and if you have any suggestions for what I should make in a future project, please just send me a personal message or post a comment down below.